that went with us to the Afar land the past several years. I thank you all for a great moment witness on my last trip to Afar land when I saw Afar kids smiling and feeling the hope we made possible through your commitment. I can't think a better commitment to support and contribute. The Afar people are the most esteemed people on the field. It's going to be my pleasure to name Hawa Adam and Khadija and Khadija Pinay and Khadija Abdullah and Nasira and Loki, the Zainaba, and I don't want to forget anyone. So, everybody. So thank you all, and have a good night.
Thank you. So now we're going to move along with these speeches as quick as we can. We'd like to have one more person before we start eating, most likely. Somebody who normally wears the pants in the family, but tonight she's not wearing the pants. Tonight, Joan is in her African best. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Joan Duguid.
So good evening, and thank you all for coming tonight. Unlike Warren, public speaking is not my forte, and in light of that, and probably to your delight, this speech will be very brief. I'm wondering if you could turn the lights down so that the slideshow is more evident and you'll be able to see the pictures better. Super. So many of you know me as Warren's wife, but I do prefer my own name, Joan. That's Joan Elizabeth Duguid. I am Joan Elizabeth Duguid, but in short, that would be Jed. So tonight, I will be giving you my Jed talk. This, of course, will never hit 1 million views on YouTube, but hopefully it'll enlighten and inform those here tonight about one of our projects in the Afar region, of which we are a small part. After years and many trips to Afar, the moments of satisfaction far outnumber the moments of doubt as to whether we are making a difference. In January, on my third, November, on my third visit to the Afar region, I had the privilege to stay and work at the Barbara May Hospital in Nile, Afar. It is here that I truly saw the value of every penny that our donors donate. At this point, I had visited Afar twice, and after a hiatus of several years of not being on a mission, I decided I would return a third time if I could spend my time helping in a tangible way. As a nurse, this was a no-brainer, now that there was a hospital in place. Even though my skills in obstetrics and gynecology were few and far between, I knew my basic nursing skills would be useful. So let me take you on a tour. This is a slide of the hospital, which was opened in 2011. It provides care in obstetrics and gynecology for women. There are 2.2 million people in the Afar region, and there were no obstetrical services available, with most women delivering in their villages with absolutely no medical attention. The Barbara May Hospital is but a building and requires nurses, midwives, and medical staff to make it work. In your lifetime, I hope you all meet people like the one I'm about to introduce you to. Wow. Briefly as I can, I will introduce this Wonder Woman to you. She is a 70-year-old British obstetrician and gynecologist, surgeon, with a PhD in physics, an engineer, a medical educator, a certified plumber of both the human body and the trade school kind, a scout leader, fluent in 3 languages, and is presently learning to read and write in Afar, mother of 7 and grandmother of many. Her skills, especially as an educator, make her the underspoken gem that she is. Any wonder her office looks like this? It is a jumble of plumbing, medical, and Afar textbooks. She has committed herself to 5 years to get the hospital established, which it now is, and then sustainable in the long term for and by the Afar. Education is key here. In terms of sustainability, she has designed a system for the utilization of grey water, by means of which she hopes to irrigate an area of garden in which to grow some produce to augment patients' diets. In 2012, my son Neville, along with his friends, Jackson, Eric, and Stephanie, also a nurse, worked to help get things up and running at the hospital. Some of these young men will be serving you your dinner tonight. While they were at Barbara May, they helped in the digging of drainage ditches, created a system and slideshow to educate hospital workers on waste management, and organized the pharmacy. 2 years after their time there, I can tell you that these projects are fully in place and working. In instituting these practices, the hospital is trying desperately to reduce waste and maximize the reusability of items wherever possible. Our own hospitals could learn a thing or two in this department. This slide is of an incinerator in their refuse area that Margaret's got up and running. Large plastic water bottles are used in place of catheter bags. Plastic cups for urine testing are cleaned and sterilized to be used again and again and again. These are but a few examples of how they are reducing and recycling. Some medical supplies just cannot be reused, and Can-Go Afar tries its best to fill the hospital wish list. On each visit that the missions make to the region, our travelers carry a second suitcase, which is filled to the maximum weight allowance with donated equipment and medical supplies. Donations are screened for their pertinence and are minimal in their contribution to the landfill. Only a few beds were occupied back in 2012, but now 3 years on, all 14 beds are filled on a regular basis in the ward. The patients include women in labor, emergency surgeries for C-sections and gynecological problems, patients with malaria, and others. Serving an area that is 200 kilometers in radius, so from here to Montreal or here to Kingston, with a population base of 2.2 million people and a maternal mortality rate of 850 per 100,000. There is no question that there is more need for places like this. Word is spreading, but it is hard to get to the hospital. Patients come on foot with their families, by ambulance, or by camel. So in this slide, this is some new work that's going on in the foreground of the hospital. You can see the foundations. They're going to move labs and stuff in there. But in the very back of the slide, you'll see 3 igloo-shaped buildings, and those are called the boitas, and those are traditional Afar homes. These are the Mealy Hospital Ronald McDougald houses. Once at the hospital, if you're an elective patient and can wait for surgery, these traditional Afar homes are at your disposal. Also, the families of laboring women stay here or outside the compound with their go-givers. On clinic days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, empty beds are miraculously filled. Prenatal clinics are done by midwives, and gynecological checkups problems are seen to by Margaret, and often find us canceling the clinic to rush into the operating room. Besides Margaret and the occasional interloper like myself, all the staff here are local, and of the local, most of them are Afar. This has and is an ongoing challenge to provide much-needed education in the health field to them. This incredible young man is Afar from Eritrea, and he is the anesthetic technician. The nurses are an ongoing challenge for Margaret, but she works tirelessly with them to improve their practice skills and knowledge. This is Margaret blowing up a balloon inside a uterus that she knitted to demonstrate childbirth and its inherent problems. The staff at Barbara May all live on site, some with their families, and their meals and lodgings are all provided. And finally, I'd just like to say that there is much work to be done, but it has to occur between deliveries and surgeries, which occur 24/7. Expertise and knowledge from those of us fortunate to have enough to have had formal training, which we can transfer, is essential. I am grateful to be able to contribute for a short while and hope to return in the future. Margaret continues as we speak. At present, she is conducting a urology study using a special piece of equipment that was donated by Can-Go Afar this past year. She hopes to publish her results in the future. In closing, any supplies, monetary donations, equipment, expertise that we can and have provided at this hospital are greatly appreciated. The takeaway for me is the value of knowledge transference. The Afar people are learning to take care of their own. And as for Margaret, even though her energy is boundless, in between frantic moments, this is how I would find her. Catching 40 winks on the porch. Thank you.
I know Joan, and if Joan thinks Margaret's an amazing woman, she must be outrageously outstanding, because she has very high standards. I'd like to meet that woman someday myself. And I think I might someday. I think we're going to move along to the dinner portion, because we have a few other speeches, but I think we're going to get to the dinner and the music. The dinner is a self-serve scenario. As you can see, it's buffet style, so we've got it at both hands here. So enjoy, and as we move through the music and that, we'll get back to the crux of the evening after we've all seated ourselves. Thank you very much.